It all started on a rainy Monday morning, the kind that made everyone wish they could stay in bed a little longer. The hallways of Westbrook High buzzed with chatter, laughter, and that subtle tension that always came with a new face on campus. Miss Carter walked in with a calm smile and a folder clutched against her chest. She was the new English teacher, young, quiet, and kind-looking, with gentle eyes that seemed to carry stories of their own. But what no one knew was that her kindness was about to be tested in a way she never imagined. And that day in the school library, when a few students decided to have some fun at her expense, they learned a lesson that would echo through the entire school. Before we jump into this powerful story, make sure you hit subscribe and join our community here on your channel name. We share inspiring stories that remind us of the strength in kindness, courage, and compassion. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. The first week was rough. Miss Carter tried her best to connect with her students, but not everyone made it easy. Some rolled their eyes when she spoke. Others whispered jokes under their breath. And then there were 3 seniors, Tyler, Jake, and Madison, who made it their mission to test every ounce of her patience. They were popular, loud, and confident, the kind of teens who thought they ruled the hallways. Tyler was the ringleader, a football star with an easy smirk. Madison was sharp-tongued and proud, while Jake followed whatever Tyler did. They weren't bad kids deep down, but they had a habit of crossing lines for laughs. To them, Miss Carter was just another new teacher to mess with. But Miss Carter didn't fight back. Every time they made a sarcastic comment or tried to embarrass her in class, she smiled softly and responded with patience. She never raised her voice. She never humiliated them in return. And maybe that's why they thought she was weak. They had no idea what kind of strength quiet kindness could hold. One afternoon, a storm rolled in just as the last bell rang. Most students hurried home, but Miss Carter stayed behind in the library, grading essays and humming softly to herself. The soft hum of the rain against the windows filled the empty room. That's when the 3 of them walked in. Tyler tossed a football between his hands, Jake laughed under his breath, and Madison smirked. "Hey, Miss Carter," Tyler said, leaning against a bookshelf. "Still here grading our terrible essays?" Miss Carter looked up, smiling politely. "Trying to make sure you pass, Tyler," she said gently. "Even you." Madison rolled her eyes. "You know, you don't really fit here," she said. "Everyone says you're too soft. This school eats teachers like you alive." Jake added with a grin, "Yeah, most teachers either yell or quit by now. You just smile. What's up with that?" Miss Carter closed her folder and met their eyes. "Maybe I believe there's a better way to reach people," she said quietly. "Kindness doesn't mean weakness." Tyler chuckled, stepping closer. "That's so? Let's see how kind you are when we lock you in here." Before she could react, he swung the heavy library door shut and clicked the latch. The sound echoed like thunder in the quiet room. Miss Carter froze for a second, not in fear, but in disappointment. "You don't have to do this," she said softly. But they just laughed. Minutes passed. The storm outside grew louder, lightning flashing through the windows. The 3 teens tossed books around, pretending to help reorganize the shelves. Tyler grinned, tossing a paper airplane at her desk. Madison filmed it on her phone, giggling. But Miss Carter didn't yell. She didn't panic. Instead, she calmly stood up and walked toward them. "Do you really think this makes you powerful?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. "Hurting someone who never meant you harm?" Tyler frowned, suddenly unsure. "We're just joking around." "Jokes stop being funny when they hurt someone," Miss Carter said. "You don't know me, and yet you've decided who I am." "Why?" Her words hung in the air. Even Madison stopped laughing for a moment. "You know," Miss Carter continued, her tone softening, "I used to be like you. In high school, I laughed at others to fit in. But then one day, someone stood up for me not with anger, but with kindness. It changed everything." She walked past them and gently tried the locked door. "You can unlock this now," she said quietly. "Or you can choose to keep proving a point that doesn't make you any stronger." Something in her voice hit deeper than any punishment could. Tyler hesitated, glancing at Madison. Man, maybe we should just... Before he could finish, thunder cracked outside, and the power flickered out. The entire library went dark. Madison gasped. Jake cursed. Tyler grabbed his phone for a flashlight. For a moment, their confidence melted into fear. But Miss Carter stayed calm. She pulled out a small flashlight from her bag and turned it on, illuminating her face with a steady glow. "It's all right," she said gently. "Storms pass. They always do." The calm in her voice soothed the air. Even the rain seemed quieter. When the lights finally came back, Tyler was already at the door, fumbling with the lock. He opened it without a word. The three stood awkwardly, suddenly unsure what to say. Before leaving, Miss Carter said softly, "I'll see you tomorrow, Tyler." "Madison. Jake. We'll start fresh. No anger. No detention threats. Just grace." They didn't deserve it, and they knew it. The next morning, word spread quickly about what had happened. Some kids laughed at first, expecting Miss Carter to quit. But she showed up like she always did, smiling, kind, and patient. And something started to change. Tyler came to class early that day. He helped her set up the projector without being asked. Madison stayed after class to apologize, though it took her a few tries to get the words out. Jake offered to help with grading papers. Miss Carter didn't bring up what happened in the library. She didn't need to. Her forgiveness spoke louder than any lecture could. Over the next few weeks, her classroom became different. The same kids who once mocked her started volunteering to read aloud. Students who struggled found comfort in her quiet encouragement. She never raised her voice, but somehow, everyone listened. One afternoon, Tyler lingered after class. "Miss Carter," he said quietly, "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. For what we did. You didn't deserve that." Miss Carter smiled, her eyes kind. "Thank you, Tyler. That means a lot. But I forgave you the moment it happened." "Why?" he asked, genuinely confused. "Because," she said softly, "holding anger only hurts the person who carries it. Kindness isn't about being weak. It's about being free." Tyler nodded slowly, the weight of her words sinking in. That moment changed him, and it showed. By the end of the year, Tyler led a charity drive for students who couldn't afford books. Madison started tutoring younger kids after school. Jake joined the volunteer club. The three who once mocked kindness became the ones spreading it. And Miss Carter? She just kept smiling, guiding, and showing them that real strength never comes from fear or control, it comes from compassion. Years later, when Tyler graduated, he wrote a note and left it on her desk. It said, "Thank you for teaching me more than English. You taught me that kindness is the greatest power of all." Miss Carter read it with tears in her eyes. She folded it gently and placed it in her drawer, the same one where she kept every note, every drawing, every small reminder that kindness had ripple effects bigger than anyone could imagine. So the next time someone mistakes your kindness for weakness, remember Miss Carter. Remember that real power isn't about being the loudest in the room, it's about being the calm that steadies it. Because kindness doesn't mean being soft. It means being strong enough to stay gentle in a world that often forgets how. And that's the kind of strength no one should ever underestimate. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your channel name. Let's keep spreading stories that remind us all kindness can change everything.